Hello everyone, I'm Pia Ranada, Rappler's Head of Community, and you are watching Be the Good, Rappler's community show about people on a mission. And we're recording this Be the Good episode in the National Cybercrime Hub in Taguig City kasi yung ating topic ngayon ay scams and how to fight them. And I'm really honored to have with me as guest CICC Alexander Ramos, who is the head of the Cybercrime and Investigation Coordination Center here in the National Cybercrime Hub. So once again, CICC, thank you so much for being here and sitting down with us for this interview. I think our discussion is very timely kasi nga po yung scams is something that is happening more and more to people, and people have to be aware about the ability to report, and that we actually have a government agency in charge of immediately assisting people who are scammed. So, thank you so much, sir. Sir, we want to begin our interview by first understanding po itong agency that you head, the Cybercrime Investigation and Coordination Center, CICC, under DICT. Could you just briefly explain po, ano po yung mandate ng agency and what is it exactly you do?
Okay. The agency was created under Republic Act 10175. The primary problem at the time, way back in 2012, was the surge of online financial incidents, financial fraud. No? So to address this, the administration passed a new law to address the cybercrimes prevalent at that time. No? And part of that is the creation of certain agencies. And one of that is CICC, which is an agency created to investigate, to collaborate, and to coordinate efforts of the national government in addressing the issues of cybercrimes. Of course, there's also the NSERT, the Emergency Response Office, no? And then there's also the creation of the OCD, Office of Cybercrime, and DOJ for International Partnership. So with these three agencies created, maybe the efforts to ensure that we are covering all facets of cybercrime is going to be working. Okay. Now, CICC has several mandates. Doon pa lang sa first two, overwhelmed na kami. One is suppression of cybercrime. The second one is prevention of cybercrime. So the first two alone is very big of a mission, no? And of course, there's the other, the ensuring the coordination among agencies. So you try to remove the data silo mentality of the different agencies. Kasi isa yun sa stumbling block to have an efficient and very effective and fast resolution of cybercrime. Data must be shared very fast, as much as possible, real time. And because of that, since we assumed, we ensured that to see if it is viable or not. And we did. For the last 2 years that we have been operating, all the proof of concepts that the law mandates, we proved to be correct and doable. And we are embarking on a bigger scale to address, again, the challenges we're facing. Cybercrime evolves very fast. It evolves as fast as technology evolves. Kaya even if we have the current law, it needs to be assisted by new laws to address the gaps of this anti-cybercrime law.
So your agency is relatively new, right? Even this building, I think, was only built 2 years ago,
2
right?
years ago.
And your agency recently released some figures that talked about the number of complaints nationwide. And nabasa ko nga sa press release na in 2024, there were 10,004 complaints that CICC had to address. And that was actually 3 times the number it was in 2023. And then may breakdown pa dito na 35% of those complaints were consumer fraud. That's non-delivery of goods and then fake advertisements. 32% was online fraud. So financial fraud, impersonation, job scam, investment scam, love scam. So you've been dealing with these complaints for years now. And what have you noticed with like the patterns, or meron bang parang lumalabas na pattern with the scams that Filipinos typically get victimized by?
Okay, based on our analytics. Pero let's go back. When we first assumed there were only around 50 complaints filed with CICC. So that's 2021 to 2022. So you would see that it's either the public do not know this agency or there is no capability. We overhauled the whole system, and it allowed us to reach more. So the issue whether it increased or not, our response is it never increased substantially. Why? Because the people now, compared before, know that there's an agency where they can report, they can interact to a human. Because a lot of time, alam mo, call center machine. Ito, tao na kausap mo. So, we continue to promote the idea that the government is responsive. Okay? And this rise of number of accumulated complaints, it is because of the public awareness we're doing. Okay? And there may have been changes in figures, but the type of victims are still the same. Repeat victims to. And nag-evolve lang yung estilo ng panggagancho online, no? So we have to continuously also educate them. What are these? People think na maliit na bagay, papagpasensyahan nila. But that crime, multiplied 100 times, it causes millions in losses. No?
Your press release said 198 million pesos lost by cybercrime victims.
Ito, simple equation namin. For every account, yung personal account, no, na na-hijack, whether it's a Facebook account, a Viber account, whatever it is, na-hijack yung account na yan. Nag-email, tumawag to your families and friends. Anong average losses, no, na nagre-respond is between 5,000 pesos to as high as 50,000 pesos.
50,000, 50,000.
Yes. 50,000 is the biggest that we registered. But that once, meron pang victim 3 times na nagbigay. No? Unknowingly that the one that they're dealing with is no longer a friend or the family member. So, dito natin nakikita na continuing ang ating experiences of adverse experiences online.
Sir, is there a demographic of victim that is the most common? Sino usually nabibiktima ng mga scams?
Ako, all walks of life. Okay. Dun sa lagay natin dun sa well-educated na lang. Let's put it on the manner of those who have learned and not so schooled. No? The victimization is the same. The only difference is the amount that's stolen from you. Of course, the people with money loses more money, and in fact, akala nila mas matalino sila sa scammer. Uulit, akala nila maisahan nila ang scammer, not knowing that they're dealing with professionals or automated scams. Eh yung maliliit, because they don't have time to report. So they only have time to survive on a day per day. They will let go from 500 pesos, 2,000 pesos, nawala sa kanila na scam, charge to experience, bahala na ang Diyos dyan, bahala na ang demonyo dyan, di ba? Sabihin nila. The problem never went away.
In your experience, sir, how have scams evolved? Like from the very rudimentary when you started, paano naging sophisticated, or how sophisticated are they now?
Oh, very, very, no? So we started noon, no? We were averaging way back in 2022 from 10 to as high as 30 unwanted text messages. SMS, ha? Kasi we have to categorize the different types of messages we received, no? Iba galing sa social media platform. Ito, we're dealing with SMS. Ganun karami everyday ang tinatanggap. Of course, there are two types of users naman. those who are continuously victimized and those who are not. Okay. So let's concentrate doon sa regular victims. Kasi na-profile na sila that they are responding, and these are the persons who don't have proper hygiene, cyber hygiene. That's why yung profile nila is out there, stolen, and they respond to anything. Kaya repeated victims sila. Okay? How come yung iba wala? It's either very conservative ang uses nila ng kanilang cellphones. Yeah, this is the culprit, the vulnerability that we have. The proper use of your device. Or, talagang tamad lang sila mag-respond to anything. They use it only to call when they need something. So, hindi sila victimized. Okay? Doon sa victimize, talagang forever yan. So, but we need to address it. That's why, pag-upo ng administration, they passed the SIM card registration law. The essence of that law is to make people aware that there's an accountability in the use of technology.
But how effective has the enforcement of that been?
Oh, alam nyo, people are complaining, sabi nila, it's not effective. Well, in fact, it is very effective. Why? Number one, people have a higher awareness that you are responsible for its use and you will be charged in court. Okay? Sa dami ng nahuli na ng law enforcement partners natin, ng police, ng NBI, kami, ng Bureau of Immigration, ng DTI, okay, na-identify namin misuse of the device. We have arrested hindi lang hundreds but thousands of violators.
Because of the SIM card registration?
Because of the SIM card registration law.
Pero what if those who did not register their SIM? Kasi parang there are still people na hindi nakapag-register and yet hindi naman sila penalized.
That is what you call na nag-i-evolve nga. Una, doon tayo muna sa culprits who were doing that thing. Na-address natin yon. But, again, may gaps, okay? Or may change of technology. So, they change and steal nila.
So, paano po na-circumvent yung SIM card registration law? By the sophisticated methods?
Very simple. Ang unang in-address natin, yung links. Kaya bumaba ang number of scam messages at the time. For a time, bumaba. Nawala yun. It went down to halos zero ang nare-receive because bawal lang nga. Pinagbawal ang telco ang any link, any message with links. Wala nang scam na mangyayari, di ba?
That's from the SIM card registration?
From the SIM card registration. No? So, it's not viable for the scammer anymore. Tinigil niya. Ibahin natin ang style. Sa ano naman gagawin natin? Now, let's go to social media platforms. Now, let's steal accounts. Okay? So, ganun pa rin, scam. By stealing accounts, they can perpetrate their scamming. So, you don't need that. All you need to do is hijack the account of the user in social media. Yun yung sinasabi ko na for every account na nare-recover namin, we can remove as high as 50,000 to 500,000 worth of potential losses ng public. Okay? Ang dami namin tulungan sa account recovery namin. But nag-evolve na naman sila. Ano naman ang style nila? Di ba? They use yung gap dun sa SIM card registration na may free text. Actually, hindi SIM card registration. Nasa technology ng telco. For you to register your SIM, merong 5 free text messages, okay, that you will receive.
For registering. Parang it's a reward of some sort. Okay.
To register, okay. Hindi ka pa kapag-register, you use that SIM card to create what we call social media account or e-wallet accounts. Kasi inaantay mo lang OTP, di ba? Try to imagine you have 5 free text. 5 accounts na fictitious na agad ang pwede mo i-create. Kaya, after that, nag-proliferate naman yung mga stolen and fake accounts. From e-wallet to social media accounts. So, akala mo, naglagay ng pangalan na ganito, yun na yun, tao niya. Yun pala, stolen identity. Di ba? Nag-evolve na. Dati, text messages. Ngayon naman, mga fake accounts.
Is this an admission, sir, that the SIM card registration law is outdated?
It has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the law itself because it's a technical.
But the law did not anticipate that.
Did not anticipate. Well, actually, the telco did not anticipate that. The law only says that you cannot use a SIM card until it is registered. But for some technicalities to simplify the registration, you allow free text. Kaya nga, we continuously update or strengthen the IRR through, of course, our lead agencies, the National Telecommunication Commission. They provide the guidelines, okay? I-adjust nyo yung, di ba, sabi, pag nag-register naman yung picture ng animal. Tapos yun, magmamask ka lang, mukhang animal, hindi magre-register na. That has been corrected already. The other one naman is bawal lang maraming registered SIM to one person. Ni-restrict na rin. So, these are some of the improvements in that. But that issues are something to do with SMS servers only. Paano yung ibang technologies? Hindi covered. So, to address the issue of fake accounts, di ba? Ito yung stolen identity. A FASA law was passed. Another one, yung internet transaction law was passed to address naman yung consumer fraud, no? So, 3 laws in 2 years, I don't think that's bad. That's very fast because we are addressing it as it comes.
Yusek Ramos, can you tell us a bit more about yung Interagency Response Center and your 1326 hotline, and how does that work? How many people are manning that center, and how can people access that hotline?
Okay. Since we had the SIM card registration law, I raised the issue with the in council and the ICT. You're going to implement the SIM card registration law. What will you do with the complaining public? What will you do with people inquiring? Where will they inquire? Kasi hindi na pag-isipan yun. So, okay, may facility CICC. Let's use it as a response center to address initially the issues of SIM card registration. Okay. So, it was initially manned by 60 people, okay, co-manned by NTC, NPC, the telcos, they're all in one command center doon sa Quezon City office namin. So, for the next several months, mabilis ang response to addressing the complaints of the consumer. But, despite that, alam ng tao, may matatawagan, we started receiving other types of issues which are concerns of cybercrime. So, ini-evolve namin slowly. Ano itong mga nire-report? And finally, in the middle of that 2023, okay, gawin mo ng full-blown na response center for cybercrime. So, let's enhance. Let's create a metrics here. Ano yung mga nire-report? And let's start covering and start addressing it. We are not here as a call center. We are here to respond. Okay? Kaya ba nating i-resolve online? How do we resolve other types of reported crimes? So, yun yung fino-formulate namin na. Until now, nag-evolve pa rin ng IARC, no? It's called the Interagency Response Center. Bakit interagency? Because initially, yun. But now, inside that IARC, we already have onboarded the National Police. We have also links with DOTR. We have links with DTI. Okay. Our reports are circulated to the other agencies. DMW. Then we have yung sa child, yung adoptions, yung SANAC.
So what kinds of complaints have you addressed through that center and that hotline?
The one that we can address immediately is account recovery. Okay.
Social media accounts.
Social media accounts that are stolen. Ina-address natin agad yan. Reports for ransomware, bombing, scams, of course scams. We get a lot of tips, okay, and then we process it. We generate the data, pag-aaralan yan, and we call the other partner agencies kasi we have a whole of government approach already. There's no single agency that will address a cybercrime. Okay? Laging joint operations yan. Such as yung Pogo natin. Yung Pogo natin, nababasa nyo lang, PAOK, no? No, sila ang lead. Okay? Nandiyan ang police, nandiyan ang WCPC, nandiyan ang DOJ, nandiyan kami. Nandiyan ang Bureau of Immigration. Sama-sama po yan.
How did you contribute, sir, to the Pogo raids, for
Well,
example?
we helped set up the model of how to detect. And then we also modeled na we can do a conviction at the shortest span of time. So we showed them. We have the fastest, less than 2 years.
What were you detecting, sir, yung CICC specifically?
Scams.
And how?
Where are they? Okay? When you detect a report, sabihin natin a link sent by social media, inaaral namin yan. Where is it emanating from? So using our overt intelligence, network intelligence tool, nalolocate namin yan. The probable location. Okay? And then we create profiles. Who are involved? Sino pa ang nakalink na companies or other links that are being propagated? We develop that. Because of this intelligence information na pinaprocess naman ng field operations ng police, ng NBI, kasi sila frontline agency natin, or ng Bureau of Immigration, or ng DMV, no, na DMW, pinaprocess nila yan. Kasi sila yung mga regulators natin dito. SEC, process nila yan. Then we have actionable reports that are converted to actual execution against a syndicate. Most of these are syndicated operations na kaya nating i-detect.
How about, sir, yung mga cybercrime that most ordinary citizens also fall victim to, like yung mga online scams, yung fraud, yung kunwari, bibili sila ng product, tapos hindi pala, how have you addressed that? And for example, OTP, asking for OTP, then they get money. How has that been addressed through the hotline?
These are the challenges we have, again, because nag-evolve yung technology. Sa OTP, we have a massive education campaign. Okay, we campaigned and we helped set up Scam Watch. Una sabi namin, kung kami lang, hindi namin kakayanin to. We need a private sector involvement to propagate the alerts that we have, to propagate the message that we have, and to propagate to the public that they should report. Yun yung isa sa problema namin eh. Ang hirap pag-reportin ng tao. Either nahihiya o walang oras. Whichever, if we will succumb to this type of challenge, then we cannot solve cybercrime. How can we develop strategies if we don't have the correct metrics or measurement ng effects sa public?
Have you been able to catch someone behind yung mga online scam? Paano niyo po nagagawa yun?
Investigation. Hard work talaga. We have technical investigation and we have field investigation jointly with our law enforcement partners. Masipag ang ating kapulisan. We just need to provide them with the technical expertise.
Have you noticed, sir, any common patterns dun sa geographic location of these scams? Like, itong kind of scam po ba mas prevalent sa ganitong region? Like, have those patterns
depending on the type of scam, no? So, we have analyzed that a lot of illegal traffic victims come from the countryside. Why? Kasi hindi nila nababalitaan tungkol sa mga illegal recruitment, sa mga modus ng panloloko, no? Kukunan sila ng pera, mabibiktima pa sila. Okay? So, we went out there in the islands, sa mga bundok, sa mga coastal, yung mga kulang sa reach ng news or technology. We campaign there. We do an outreach program to educate them in cybercrime. Cybercrime is not limited to the urban center. Mostly rural victims who go to urban centers are victims most of the time. Kasi ignorant sila eh. So we need to educate them.
Okay. Sir, can you tell me naman about yung love scams? Kasi season ng Valentine's Day,
yeah.
di ba? So ano po ba yung mga red flags that people should watch out for? And what exactly are the elements of a love scam? And how nga do you guard against it?
You would notice love scam is not only for Valentine's. It's for every major celebration that we have. Pasko, summer, Valentine's, and God knows whatever commercially available events that we would have, no, for the year. Doon nagsasurge yan. Because tayo Pilipino are very lovable, romantic, so to speak. We are very emotional, to be exact. Okay, so we yearn for a loved one, somebody to love and somebody who will love us, di ba? So using that parameters, this type of scams become prevalent. May kakaibigan sa'yo, especially for those who are I would say, malakas ang loob to meet others beyond the confines of their room or their security. They'll find whether it's a foreigner, kung sino maganda dyan na model. It's an enticement. Okay.
Ano yung warning signs, sir, for that this is a scam, you're being scammed?
Una-una, are you deserving of the attention of that person?
Ay, sir.
Yan munang tanong mo. Uy, ang ganda nito.
Parang
Uy,
too good
ang
to be
yaman
true,
nito.
parang ganon?
Uy, foreigner. Paano ako nakilala? Di ba? Parang always ask yourself, bakit ako? Di ba? Bakit ako palagi? You have to start from within. Of course, the most, how would you say that, talagang foolproof when the talk, the chat, will go to pera, will go to investment. That's a scam. Because ikaw ba pag niligawan ka utangan ka agad na nililigawan mo? Normal ba yun? I don't think, not in the Philippine setting. Okay? Talagang ikaw ang bubusan ng attention, ikaw ang bubusan ng pera. Not the other way around. Most of our victims, by the way, are female. Okay.
Na the male is the scammer, tama po ba?
Oo.
And ano po yung reasoning usually bakit po nafa-fall yung mga victims?
Well, baka mas maraming babae sa Pilipinas, no? Or mas maraming malungkot na babae. O mas maraming babae na naghahanap ng true love. So, such factors, no, na the Philippines is so blessed with a lot of women and who are really lovable. No? So, culture.
How about, sir, yung this prevalence nga of deepfake, diba? AI manipulation of videos and even audio. We've seen a lot of that, lalo na even like the president has been victimized by a deepfake audio. How is CICC preventing these harms or at least guarding against mga deepfake?
Well, more than guarding is understanding the problem. Okay? Technology, regulation, you have to look at it from out of the box. Think out of the box. How do you address this? There are contents, are they acceptable or not? Are they regulated or not? Diba? Deepfakes are AI. And we don't have a law on AI. Except sa USAIC, di ba? Ito yung mga children portrayed in AI. Yun lang ang law natin.
We have a law like that?
What? A recent law.
What do you call the law?
I forgot the name of that law. But any AI-generated child is covered by that law. It's covered by the new USAIC law there. So, anybody using that or abusing it is liable.
Di ba po yun yung sir yung sa UK? Alam ko UK passed a law like that. I'm not sure if the Philippines has one.
We already have one.
Okay.
We already have one. Of course, the nearest that we have on AI is a COMELEC en-banc resolution to fight the deepfake content for campaigning, whether pro or against.
And are you equipped to do that?
Well, instead of, you see, we have limited manpower. Okay? And not all content are regulated in the country. The best way is to educate. So, gawa tayo ng community of fact-checkers. Pag-usapan natin. Ngayon, puro the burden is on the government, di ba? And yet, we are insufficiently tooled with the law and regulation as well as manpower. So, why not give or look for a tool or a process to allow the public or a group of people na mahilig go online on discussions, equip them to para may discernment sila. Sila mismo ang magsabi, ay, this is the fake, because the tool allows them to determine that. In that way, whether that content is true or not, or should be removed or not, nasa public na yun.
So the CICC would equip citizens to
Yes.
use deepfake detection tools, because the media, for example, like Rappler, Verifiles, AFP, we're fact checkers verified by Meta. We also use these tools. So would you work with such groups?
Oh yeah, any group, okay. It's an independent fact-checking community. That's what we want to build. People empowerment to fight deepfakes and mga alikes addressing AI-generated content. Kasi for as long as you see it, as long as you hear it, it's being talked about. So to dispel the content, whether it is true or not, is bigyan namin kayo ng capability to discern.
But CICC right now, are you part of the enforcement of this COMELEC resolution? How are you doing that? Do you have tools that you use to detect
We
AI?
are assisting COMELEC because again, limited din sila. Kami ang may monitoring, but we would like to go beyond the confines of our monitoring center, the walls of, let the public know. I think that's more relevant kasi yung community mo, ibang channel yung minomonitor nyo, no? Iba yung sinusundan nyo. The one in Cebu is different from Manila, no? Iba yung pinag-uusapan. So, hindi ka pupunta sa channel of discussions and distribution na hindi ka concerned. So, let's give those communities who talk about it. Kasi iba-ibang level. We don't have enough manpower, by the way. And again, the issue is we don't have sufficient regulation on this.
Two topics na lang, sir. You were mentioning, just going back to consumer fraud, no? Yung the CICC does have a system in place called the Consumer Application Monitoring System, and it's been deployed in major cities, I read. I want to learn more about this. And sir, how does it work? Can you explain how this system works in protecting consumers from fraud?
Okay. There was a time people were reporting in social media, na-scam ako. Ay, this company is not working fine. Ini-scam ako ng company ito. Ay, nako, this company, it's all against the companies. It's all against the government. Yun laging comment ng consumer public. Dali lang. That may be happening, true. But, ano ba ang punot dulo nito? So, in technology, there are a lot of factors involved. The device, capacity of the device, okay? The app in the device, okay? Who developed the app, okay? So, we have to look into a deeper probe in this. And then location is also an issue. Not all sites, not all areas have good connectivity. That's why, na-experience natin to sa SIM card registration eh. Bakit di ako makapag-register? Among the reasons we found, one, insufficient memory ang cellphone mo. Okay? Two, yung app mo, yung platform ng app mo, hindi capable to connect to the system of the telco. So, yung handshake, hindi natutuloy. So, failure. 3, ay hindi ka makita masyado because the camera is mababa ang pixels. 4, sama ng connectivity, bagsak yung, may bandwidth na hinahabol yung system ng telco eh. So among the factors, these are the factors that affect the efficient performance of an app. Having said that, so let's monitor. Kasi ang daming app na nireklamo. Si Grab, si Lazada, si GCash, name that, all the popular apps. So how do we protect? May kasalanan ba talaga itong mga companies ito o wala? So we created the application monitoring system. Deployed in key cities muna. Kasi may limitation tayo, no? What it does, it's a device with several different model and cell phones. Because hindi lang naman isang model eh. From different walks of life, what you can afford, you buy. So it is there, connected to a mini computer system with the same registration and apps. Walang ginagawa yon for certain time of day, it tries to connect. So, successful ba yung connection?
To the app.
To the app.
To the GCash, to the
Lazada. Yeah, tinetest niya yun.
Okay.
Of course, on top of that, meron ka bang internet o wala? Because we may have connectivity here in BGC, but in Mandaluyong or in Caloocan, wala. Bakit kaya? That's a reason kung bakit nagpe-fail yung app. So we will find that out with our system. Ay, may outage yung connectivity sa area na to. So forget it. Huwag ka na mag-angal kasi we will inform the public na may outage yan. Hindi ang app ang may problema. Okay? Or down ang system ni ano. Sabihin na lang natin ni GCash, okay? Dati kaliwat kanan ng inaabot ni GCash eh. It's so hard to explain all of these things simply because may technical correction na ginagawa. Ang isang kwento na simple nagiging complicated na kasi dugtong-dugtong na eh. So before that becomes a big story, ina-address na namin, na-detect na namin, ay sa Quezon City down ang connection na hindi magandang connection ng GCash. Bakit? Eh yung systems doon ng connection are down. It's not GCash.
So do you put out an advisory to tell people how does that work?
As fast as we can, we put out advisories. Uy, may nagsisircle. By the way, na-detect rin namin yung scam messages. Chine-check namin agad yan. Oy, MMDA, nagpalabas ka ba ng advisory? Na maniningil ka na? Oy, Globe, naglabas ka ba ng advisory na mag-end na yung life ng SIM card? Mga ganon. Or yung points.
Nade-detect po yun ng consumer application monitoring system or different?
Yes, we see it here. Because it is funneled to our here, in our system here, the messages and we react to it fast enough. No? Kasi tao ang nakabantay eh. And we confirm already with the affected offices kung totoo o hindi.
How about, sir, yung hacking of websites, lalo na government websites? Are you part of the operations to restore or the data privacy of people whose files maybe have been hacked?
Ganito. Pagdating sa mga attacks sa government sites, it's a different issue, no? Of course, we respond to them. Kung tumawag sila sa amin, if they do not inform us, it's hard for us to determine, to go there without kasi there are still some agencies na siloed pa. Okay? They're too protective of their image and of their database. Na pag na-attack sila, ayusin nila on their own. Whether they have expertise or none, we don't know. So that's what happened to the other agencies. But other agencies that signed up with us, of course, we give them 100% support. We check their system to see if are you compliant? Okay. Have you improved your cyber security system?
So agencies have to apply for you to check out their system.
Kasi voluntary yan, hindi naman yan mandatory. So if we have partner agencies, we support each other. Okay? Mandate namin is to, everybody is our client. No? We provide services to enhance their anti-cybercrime capability.
Sir, last topic. Kasi yung online sexual abuse and exploitation, that's a very, very big issue in the Philippines. We are known, sadly, as being a hub for this crime. So, can you explain, sir, how CICC has upgraded the country's capability in fighting OSAIC?
Unang-una, nilalabanan namin yung report na yan. Kasi hindi tayo ang ground zero. That's a misinformation. Okay? The only source they have is one agency. And the data of that agency, I'm very well versed in. Luma. Yung iba doon, repeat. So, bakit repeated? Di kung repeated, dapat tanggalin mo na, di ba? But they still report. Any brown child is a Filipino. Malaki ang ASEAN. And besides, iba-ibang race natin dito sa Pilipinas. There's some foreign-looking, but there are...
So does CICC have its own data for OSAIC?
That's what we did. To address the issue is, other than campaigning that it's not true, we started working with the frontline agencies to create our own database.
Okay. And what did you find?
We do not have that much, but we have an increased number of victimization. Okay? We now have our efforts coordinated between the WCPC, of course the NBI is there. We have an office in the DOJ, no? Newly created by the President, yung coordinator for OSAIC, no? We are part of that. We work with CWC to ensure that we are on the same page. Dapat ina-address natin. I think ito lang, last December, sunod-sunod ang reports of abuse. Within 48 hours, we are resolving it. We solved 4.
Resolve meaning? What does that mean?
Hinahanap namin culprit na nag-abuse ng bata. Online, ha? Online. Kasi may victims tayo ng mga bata na entice to do things online. No? And yung bata na-trap na. So we have to stop the victimization. We started addressing it.
Any patterns, new patterns, or disturbing trends you've noticed?
The demand is still the same. Pagdating sa child victims, it's still foreign-based ang ating, But, hindi kasi, wala sa culture natin yung, hindi prevalent na meron tayong consumer ng content na to.
It's really foreigners, you're saying?
It's really overseas. What we have is a different type of child abuse here. So, yun naman, ina-address naman sa domestic violence. Okay. The child abuse case is very isolated siya eh. Very private. That's why marami pa rin unreported.
Without revealing too much about your operations, because of course we want to make sure you do it effectively, parang what is our capability in detecting OSAIC now? Like, is it much better than before, and how so?
We automated it. We provide the same tools to everyone. We support each and every agency who are looking into it. We should never be dependent. Yan ang inano ko eh. We're too dependent on foreign funding, foreign support. Actually, we can do it on our own, no? Kulang lang talaga sa yung drive. And tulad yan, when we started talking to our enforcement partners, sir, kulang kami ng ganito. O sige, hanapan natin yung solution. Kailan yung training? Sige, mag-train tayo. So there is a more collective effort now.
Okay. Sir, last question, because now we want to ask about how ordinary citizens can protect themselves against scams. So, kung meron po kayong top tips on how ordinary people can be less vulnerable or be at least more guarded against scams, what would it be? What should people do?
Okay, yung basang-basa na statement, when it's too good to be true, it's a scam. Okay? Always practice proper cyber hygiene. Do not click anything you see online. I think with this two things in your mind, it will help dramatically reduce online victimization.
Okay. Thank you so much, CICC Ramos, for being with us for this interview and sharing a lot of tips and insights about your work. Yun nga, we hope that our viewers really take into heart yung message niyo. So again, this has been Pia Ranada, Rappler's Head of Community. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Be the Good. And let's all remember to be alert for scams. And yun nga, we're just going to repeat the hotline that CICC Ramos said earlier, yung hotline 1326 to report mga scams to CICC. Let's use that hotline. Let's test CICC's capability and also make sure to also guard other people from the scams we experience. Once again, thanks for watching and see you next time.